Okay, so I talked a lot. I'm sorry. I talked briefly on this subject about Satanists and how when they wear the upside down cross and they make fun of, like, the cross of Christianity. I want you guys to think about this. And somebody I used to be associated with said something similar to this before, but I'm just gonna elaborate on it. Like one of the things about when I used to be a Christian that I noticed is that a lot of the times when people go to church, especially on a continued basis, like every Sunday, a lot of times when you go to church and you don't you sit there and it's like you be zoned out. And if anybody was to ever say it out loud, it's kind of like people will look at you like you're the devil or something like that, but it's the truth, because it's like the first thing people are going to think when you say that is that, oh, she's a devil, she can't hear. But you really don't. A lot of people, they go to church and they hear it, they don't hear it. Sometimes it may be a good message, you may remember briefly, but most of the time it's just like you just be zoned and be trying not to go to sleep, or you pretending like you're not and you be doing the fake praise and stuff like that. So what I kind of find out is like they cast spells up there. That's why people can get up there and do those long prayers. And me, just regular, it's like I don't like when you're not supposed to do long prayers in a group setting. You say that privately. This is because other than that, it's just I compare it to certain things I do. I don't do stuff like that. It's like you're showing off. Unless you're praying for somebody, I don't even think you should do that. You do that privately. It's like people like to put on airs and people are, oh yes, yes. I kind of showed that on my page before with a clip with Kenneth Copeland. You see how fake that looks when people kind of like all gather together and they're like, oh yes, but really in reality it's just a game. Because let's just keep it real. If you don't want to say it out loud, I'll say it out loud. It's like this. It's just fake. Nobody wants to really just sit up there because you don't really be listening in your head. You just be want them to hurry up. It just is what it is. So what I kind of found out is, remember I told you got to use your common sense, and then also go back. When God kicked Satan out of heaven for the mere thought of trying to go against him and turn a lot of people against him, then that means that he doesn't play when it comes to, just in general, he just doesn't play when it comes to haters and stuff like that. And I explained that already, but before on my channel. But then you got to think about, if people, the creator of the universe, the person that has the power to end your life like this, the person, you think that if he was really tortured like that down here, that they would be able to so freely get away with mimicking that and talking? It's like, come on, yeah, the devil, he has a, it's like in a way they doing it, but it's like, just really think about that. The Most High Son, and you really think they can go around and make fun of the fact that if he was brutalized and beat and stuff like that? The only way that they can do that is if it was based on a false story. That's why I said I don't really think that he was tortured like that. They knew he was gonna come down here, and they knew that people weren't gonna like him and be jealous and spiteful. So he was under extreme protection. And you always compare it to me, like for example, me being Gangstar, and no, right now I have nobody. It's the last person I did have in my family I was connected with. I don't trust them. I found out some stuff, and it's not even just finding out. I've seen some stuff that I don't agree with and I don't like. So it's like I'm really on my own. So come Monday, I really got to try to hustle and find something or just do something. It's like my back is against the wall. I refuse to be disrespected and gaslit at my job, and I don't know what they're doing. It's like I know certain things as I heard through readings, but I just know the situation is funny, and I just don't trust people. I just rather kind of lay low and just be by myself and just trust in God. But just in general, it's like people, they do certain things. That's one of the reasons why I don't really like Christians too much. They'll do like evil demonic stuff in the background, and then you go off, and the first thing they're gonna say is that you have an anger problem or that you're not of God. Like, let me give you guys an example of when because I heard, and this is, I've heard several people will say, like, how can you be a chosen one of God if you constantly going off on people and stuff? And I've actually calmed my anger down. What I've noticed is that when I separate myself from certain people, I have a calming spirit. Some people I never get angry around, but it's like certain people. And like I said before, I don't always react. It just depends on who it was. I think I did good at my job because I didn't go off or whatever, despite the situation. Like, people just do stuff. And I didn't really fully elaborate on my job. After they did all that stuff and took the supervisor's hideaway away. Then it's like she came back up to me and was like, well, I asked the other employees, how you acted, and they all said that you were really nice. But the problem is that I came up to you and reported that I was being mishandled and mistreated and not trained properly by the other supervisor when I was in training for supervisor. And instead of that, you demoted me and then asked other people in the same manager I told you that was asking me about was telling me about the COVID, which I don't really give a flying F about her opinion, because it's like it's just the type of character that she is. So anyway, she and we weren't even bringing it up. I didn't even bring it up. So she offered it again, but it's like when people do stuff like that, I don't play like that. It's like you had me go out take a drug test, then you put me on under training against somebody I don't really understand what they're saying. I hate or whatever, jealousy, whatever, and then I reported that I wouldn't. Just whatever. It's like people just do stuff to spite you and then try to offer it back. Would you want to take something back like that? Because it's like you're dangling in somebody's face. Okay, no, you can't have it. Yeah, you can't have it. So it's like just in general, if the whole position. And then the person she asked for, the person she put in charge, that's a reflection of you. And another thing she did, I reported too, is that one of the supervisors was talking about me with the other employees. I was telling her that's unprofessional. I don't think she should do that. I don't care if the girl didn't like me. I don't care if none of them like me. I don't even care if the coworkers talk about me, but as a supervisor, you're not supposed to do that. And she acted like she didn't understand. That's just say people just do stupid stuff. People will do stuff and then cause you to react and then look at you like you crazy when you act. Like for example, I'm gonna give you an example of stuff that pissed me off. It's a video, and let me calm down. It's a video I did on my YouTube channel, and it was like I was explaining the narc stuff, but I erased it, and I talked about how, his friend was like, oh, she ain't got no car, man. No, just being spiteful and jealous or whatever, and just they didn't want to see him with nobody pretty or whatever. So when he did that, I explained it before. If you're new to my channel, you didn't see it. But I explained it before. I was like, that's like me talking down on him because he living in my house and I'm not living in his, and he's a man. Because I don't even think like that, and I wasn't thinking like that. But it's like, then people be like, oh, I get it. People just do stupid stuff like the guy at the bus stop. And I didn't even go off on him. I checked him in a very decent type of way. But he was talking about women that be wearing all that makeup or something that he said in hair. That's like me sitting at the bus stop, be like, yeah. And also guys who don't have cars or whatever. I can understand a woman catching the bus or whatever because that's a woman. But a grown man, he's supposed to have his own. And it's like, if I was to say something like that, even though I'm not on that, but if I was to say something like that, it's like he would be looking at me or get real offended. But you sat up there and you disrespect me. Now, like I said, I think somebody put him up today because he just had like a really demonic, hateful spirit. But it did have the nerve to have God out of his mouth. That's why I said people, when they talk about God, they don't be talking about the Most High. It's like you can't, because it's like it will be in your spirit. And God has anger too. When you see certain things, like when God is going to destroy the earth, the rapture, that's the anger of God. People have a misconception of what an earth angel is or something like that, because you in your mind, when you go to church for so long and you're giving false teachings by false leaders, it's like your mind is trained to think that Christians have to, or earth angels, like people think that earth angels have to act a certain way, holier than thou, and I'm not holier than thou. I'm just a good person. Yeah, I'm celibate, and you don't even have to be celibate to be an earth angel. It's like you just because I was always an earth angel. It's just that people I don't even know how to explain this. Like, people just do stuff. It's certain things that the family member I just stopped talking to, certain things that she used to do. Like, real controlling, like always trying to control my finances. Like, I'll go in the store with her and get some, and she'll be looking at me like, oh, no, you don't need that. Blah. But one time, and I told her I don't like that because I'm a grown woman. I get what I want to get with my money. But it's like they just be like, oh, you don't need that. Like, you need just stuff like that. But I was like, okay, one day I'm going to show her how I feel. So we went in the store, and she got something. I was like, why are you getting it? But I just said it just so she could see what it feels like. And she was like, what do you mean, why am I getting it? And looked at me real crazy. And I was like, see how it feels? But it's like people do stuff, and they project, and when you respond, they like to look at you like you crazy. That's why I say gaslighting is manipulation. It's a form of witchcraft, because anything that you do that causes a person to doubt their reality in their mind, like, wait a minute, maybe I was tripping, but you're purposely doing it, it's like that's witchcraft. So people will look at you and say that you're a witch for doing freezer spills to try to stop people from coming against you. They'll say that, but then they'll sit up there and they'll pay spills to block money blocking spills, but then had a nerve to talk about God and go to church. And that's what I say, people just do silly, stupid stuff. And one thing about me is that as far as like me being on YouTube and being online and making videos, people will look at me and be like, "Oh, you exposing too many people and stuff like that." I'm not tripping about the secret transgender videos I do, but they'll be like, "You're exposing people in your family." But you got to think about, I'm online doing it. These people have done this to me continuously, told lies, did work on me in the background, gang stalk, did all this stuff, and then had a nerve to call me a witch. That's like me going to somebody's house every day and sitting outside their house and watching them and doing the spill to make sure they don't have love and stuff like that, and then call them the devil. It's like, how can you do something like that? The only way you would do something like that is you have to have a demonic spirit in you, because that's what Satan did. He got kicked out of heaven and can't come back, and then he sat up there and blamed God and said it was a misunderstanding. That's what Satanists believe, that Satan was given too harsh of a judgment and it was a misunderstanding. Because I've done a lot of research on stuff like that, but it's no misunderstanding with the Most High, because I know if I'm a forgiving person, I'm not even mad at these gang stalkers or nothing like that, because it's like you don't feel sorry for people, but it's like you just know you have to be used as a tool to bring karma to certain type of people, because it's like a lot of times these people probably have been getting away with this for a long time. It just surprises me how people can let God come out of their mouth and do the most craziest things, especially if you were involved in gang stalking, because you know that the purpose of doing it is to play games or try to mess with a person's mind, but you sit up there and call somebody like that a witch. Especially people that are monitoring or doing things in your home, like to try to monitor or whatever, phone hackers, or how could a person watch you on camera or whatever, or just in general watch you on camera or listen and then call you demonic and call you evil? Because it's demonic. Because it's like when somebody does that to your child, and it will happen if somebody was to do that to your child or do that to your wife or your daughter or you, it's like, you know that you would be ready to kill somebody, or you would go completely insane. But when you do that to somebody else and then somebody snapped, and it's like you call them the devil. And it's a video on YouTube where I think it was Tupac was in an interview, and he said, "How can you be a angel amongst demons?" It's like when you're around a lot of people, and it's like they picking and poking, and it's like, just like for example in my job, it's like they'll do certain things. It's like they want to see you snap and get a reaction out of you. My boss or whatever told me last week, I told you, you can't get a certain color as long as it's up. You can't get a discount with this color. And I went up there, and he knew that color went up there, but he said, "Oh, it's coming out." Just try to mess with your mind. And I heard that they're getting paid to do that, to try to make me go off a little crazy. But it's like the whole purpose of you doing it is that you try to make a person doubt. Well, no, I'm not. And in order to do something like that, you have to do that to somebody that's not awakened. Because I don't give a damn if it's 1,000 mother effers saying there's no God or you're crazy or whatever. I still know where I stand. One thing that I realized when it comes to like gang stalking, if you're being gang stalked and you've been gang stalked for a long time and you don't have no fear, what happens is you don't have any fear, because even though you can't see it, it's angelic protection around you. It's people protecting you. It's after a while, it's just, you don't really be fearful of that. You just be real annoyed, and it's after a while, it's kind of like you just ignore it because you know these people have issues. But I just don't see how people could sit up there and talk about God. It's like people have an ugly is a very pure spiritual being. He's very loving, but he also has wrath too. That let you, if he made hell and kicked Satan out of heaven for hating, then that let you know he don't play. He gotta he don't like people like that. He don't want people like that around him. That's how I am, and that's one of the reasons why it's hard for me to be around people, because people just do like real stupid stuff. If you do something to somebody and you know for a fact you would go off if it was done to you, but when somebody do it to you, you try to make it seem like they're crazy, then you're a witch. That's witchcraft. And people have a misconception of what witchcraft and what evil people is. An evil demonic person is somebody that it's like you do things and you don't mind projecting, but if it's done back to you, you're gonna act delusional and act like one of the reasons why I cut that last relative off, like I said before, and I blocked the number. I'm on my own now. I don't like when people act stupid and act delusional when I ask them something, because it's kind of like that's happened to me a whole lot. And tarot helped bring a lot of clarity to me, but also being close to God, it's like I could just see the truth. It's like somebody, that's like me hearing that Let's say if I had a husband, that a husband was trying to kill me and set me up or something like that. Let's say I'm rich he's trying to kill me and set me up. But I kind of feel a weird vibe around him, but I don't really know. So, I'm getting all these terrorists saying this, but I have to see it for myself. And then I question and ask him, and he telling me stuff, and he telling me no, but it's just the vibe is off. It's like when you're awakened, you can see the devil in people. You can see what people full of shit. You can see what people lying. It's just, especially with empaths, just like you can read the aura of people. You start learning that people come at you a certain type of way that you wouldn't do. You know that they work for the devil. Because me, this is just how I am, as solid as I am. If I rock with somebody, if I really truly love you, or just in general, just me being real, I'm gonna solidly let you know, look, I rock with you. I'm not gonna turn on you. This is what it is. I don't trust people. I don't really want a lot of people around me, but you have reassurance that I got your back. That's just how I am, and I say it flat up like that. People that play, like yesterday, I went on the north side to the thrift store and to get my eyebrows arched, and I went to like the little taco stand. I looked up, it was it was in the area, but my ex-boyfriend, the Scorpio ex, came up to me, and it's like I put my head down and smile, but it's like I didn't even feel like going off on him. It's just I just know it's like you've been doing work on me in the background, but you had the balls to come up to me and speak and say hi and act like we cool. So that's what I'm saying. People just do, and he's an Easter star. But I always talk about the Most High. So the only way you could do that is if when you talking about the Most High, you have to be talking about Satan, because Satan doesn't rock with you. And even you have to think about it like this: how you know a person is guilty of certain things. And I'm trying to give you like a little clue of how you could tell, how empaths and psychics can tell when people lying without cards or whatever. It's like now I know he watches my platform. I know he was gang stalking me. He knew that I made videos talking about him or accused him of this and this and that. But you can't come up to me and tell me I don't know what you're talking about online, especially if you have my number. You can't come up to me and tell me I don't know what you're talking about. That ain't true. I don't do stuff like that. You can't do that, but you go come up to me and just act totally delusional, like we just cool and you ain't seen me in a while. So that let you know there's somebody plotting against you in this, and that's the money. So in order to because I feel like I can't trust nobody, I'm cutting everybody off. Period. And it just is what it is. So that's what I'm saying. People, this is really demonic to sit up there and act like you work for the light and act like you roll with God, but then you sitting up there doing demonic stuff. And then when a person reacts, people try to act like that. People try to act like that person is the devil. It's like, that's what I'm saying. People are gonna be surprised. God isn't a being that we're in. Heaven isn't a place where people are sitting up there singing in the choir all day. God is real. Just because I know how I am, I have God in me. So it is what it is. So that's all I have to say for now.